Hey guys, welcome back. This is Jury Rig Garage. I'm Davis. Today we're going to be working on the Fiero. So you guys have been wanting an update on this thing. We've been working on the Tahoe pretty extensively, but we are done with that. You know, it's up and running good. So time to work on some of our other projects like the Fiero here. So we got a lot of plans for it. We're going to be 3800 swapping it, turbocharging it. I've decided and worked with Tristan, and we're actually going to put Project F's 3.8 in there. So. Yep. Originally, this was going to go into another project that Tristan was going to buy, but he's a bit farther out on that, and we thought, why leave this around, you know? So I'm going to buy it from Tristan, and this is actually going to go into the Fiero. So if you guys don't know, this is a 3.8 out of a Grand Prix. We did put in our Camaro. So it's a L67 block, L67 heads. It's got a ZZP XP camshaft. It's got ARP everything. It's got 130 or it's like pretty high spring rates, like
130-pound springs, and it's got the comp cams roller
OER.
Yeah, OER valve springs.
Lifters.
Oh, lifters. Yep. Right. Yep. And this thing has already been turboed in the Camaro, probably making like 300 to 400 horsepower, and it did that for probably 1,000 miles. And so this motor is broken in, and it's got all the goodies, so might as well put it in the Fiero, and this thing is going to freaking chooch in that thing.
We have a lot of parts to show off here, like literally a whole stack of parts in the corner over there. I got a whole set of Fiero Raj mounts. So this is the upper dog bone, which also houses the tensioner. Got the alternator bracket, got the motor mount, Rodney Dickman polyurethane subframe mount. So this will be a direct bolt-on into the Fiero. It will be awesome. Yeah. This thing will be using the... we'll start out with the 4-speed that's in there. Already did a lot of upgrades to the clutch system on that, and it runs just fine. Not, you know, ready for the added expense of an F23 swap, but that will come. Going to be powering this, hopefully, with a Holley Terminator. There's a lot of stuff online on how to get these running on a Holley Terminator, so I'll also show you how to do that. But today, what we're going to do is just put these mounts on. Then we're going to go over some of the other parts that we have here. I have a full suspension rebuild kit, and that is what we're actually going to be working on today. Yep. Going to be disassembling the front of the Fiero, taking off the wheels, taking off the full front suspension, and starting with that. In this kit, I have just complete new everything. New polyurethane bushings for the control arms, new ball joints. I have new sway bar links. I got tie rods, inner and outer. Also, I have a coilover conversion for the rear, so I'll be able to drop the rear. That'll also allow me to put larger wheels on there, because without the coilover kit, I don't think you could really fit 17s on the rear.
All right.
Right now they have 15s. So we're going to get into that. It's a whole suspension, you know, rebuild, ball joints. Literally everything on the suspension is getting replaced. Currently driving the Fiero, it feels like a death trap. Going over any minor bump, the whole thing shakes. Like, it's got no power steering, so it's direct field from the road, but it is intense how bad it feels. Like, it feels like a death trap.
It does.
So hopefully this will fix it. A lot of people online say that it's just kind of par for the course. That's what they feel like.
Yep, and we'll see. We'll see with all new stuff and see how it actually feels. If it's supposed to feel like that, I doubt it. So this will make it feel like it was new.
Yep. So very excited about this. I hope you guys are excited about this as well. Let me know down in the description. You think I should start out NA tuning it, or go straight for the turbo? It makes no difference to me. I'm building a custom set of Schedule 10 log manifolds, LV band out, and be able to just go for a normal NA, exhaust if I want to keep that, or just go straight to the turbo.
Yeah, that's really thick metal, like way better, way heavier than like the manifolds that came with my kit. So that's like already way more quality that he's starting out with.
Yeah, it's Schedule 10 1.5" primaries. So if you know anything about Schedule 10, that's not, 1.5" isn't the actual inner diameter. It's like the nominal measurement of it or whatever. This is actually like an 1.75" primaries that go into 2-inch Schedule 10, which is actually 2.25". So pretty big exhaust. It'll flow way better than the stuff that you had on there. There's debate on how big you need the primaries to be. People say it should be smaller and you might get more response, but might as well just go big, especially if I'm going to be pushing bigger power down the road.
Yep, and no matter what, it's going to have no problem spooling up the turbo, because the turbo that we had on it with smaller primaries had no problem lighting up. That size turbo that we have, perfect for the size of engine. So he's going to have no problems with that. It might even spool up better. Who knows? Yeah, more flow. I mean, this thing's going to be serious. It's pretty awesome. I'm very excited to make my own headers. I got a set of ZZP stainless exhaust manifold flanges. So these are 1 3/4. Again, this matches up just perfectly.
right with the bevel, so be nice, get a nice weld on it.
Which part for the course for CZP, those flanges are warped.
Yeah.
Yep. They're already warped out of the box, so that's cool.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to figure that out. But
once I get them all welded together, I'll just take it to machine shop to mill down.
Yeah.
Not too big of a problem. I also bought ZZP aluminum valve covers. I'll be adding some -10 breathers to it, and then also be building a mount for my fuel rails. I'm making a custom set of -8AN fuel rails for this, so they work just like the factory fuel rails here. Fit right on. Then I'll be able to add, that -8 fittings for a complete, return cell fuel system. I'll get a regulator, all that.
Yeah, because when we got 5 to 8 pounds of boost in the Camaro, that felt really fast. And so with this thing, probably weighs 1,000 pounds lighter.
Yep, this car
gonna be crazy.
This car on paper with no driver weighs 2,600 pounds.
Yep, the Camaro is probably like 3,300 with no driver.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit heavier.
Yep. So it's going to be awesome. Manual transmission, turbo, 3,800, running on a Holley Terminator. That sounds pretty cool.
That does sound really cool.
And I'm going to show you guys exactly all the steps it takes to do this. So definitely stay tuned for that. Join us as a member down below. You get early access to our videos. But we're going to go ahead and throw these mounts on, as well as get the Fiero up on jack stands so we can start on the suspension. Alright guys, just got the mounts on and they look awesome. So we have the front motor mount here. So this is pretty much the only motor mount other than the dog bone that goes to bar there. But when I do the whole turbo conversion, I think I'm going to cut out the trunk. So I'll need to figure out what I'm going to do here. Maybe make like a bar that goes to the 2 strut towers and then connect it with the dog bone.
I keep forgetting that this engine sits opposite of what it would in any front wheel drive car.
Yeah, basically if you're looking at the car over there, it's going to sit like this. So the passenger side is going to be here, driver's side is going to be over there. Which is also the intake is going to be facing this way.
Yep, which is flipped from any other, Grand Prix, any front wheel drive car.
So with the transmission, it's going to have the 2 trans mounts and then the front polyurethane one here. So it'll be nice and secure. Uses a Grand Prix alternator, uses a Ford Taurus tensioner. For the belt routing, I have no AC and I have no power steering. So to do the belt system, it's kind of all weird. I've built this tensioner. I'm still waiting on one more spacer, but this thing is awesome. I'll be able to use normal Ford tensioners. I'm going to replace the bolt right here with it. It's all stainless steel construction. And then I'm just waiting on the last 1-inch spacer here, and I can weld it all together. And this will be a nice belt system. Basically, it'll wrap around there, through here, around, drive the water pump. It'll drive the alternator. And those are the only 2 accessories this thing needs. Alright guys, I'm back. This has been a really smooth process so far, just as you imagine disassembling anything is. Got the brake off, got the shock off, got the sway bar end link off, as well as the tie rod. And the inner tie rod's actually pretty stiff. The outer though is just completely blown and, not very good. Everything else is kind of grimy in here, but we're going to be replacing everything. We're at the point now where we do need to lower the spring. So this is under a lot of tension. What we're going to do is we're going to get the floor jack to support the lower control arm. We're going to unbolt the top ball joint here. slowly lower the lower control arm so that the spring can release tension, and then we can just pry it out, maybe get some pry bars in there. So we'll move as much as we can out of the way, all these bolts and everything. Also, I'd like to point out, this is a replacement strut. I don't have the originals anymore. I think I threw those away, but they actually had aftermarket KYBs on there, and they were kind of shot. I got these. These are like the cheapest replacement shocks you can get. Just compress them by hand. Super easy.
That seems
and then they
too
don't
easy.
And they don't come up on their own like very fast at all. Yeah.
That seem good.
Let's go get the new ones. Yeah, we haven't shown all of these yet, but I believe that's it right there. Ooh. This is a KYB gas strut, so this is kind of like the cheap performance option. There's Konies and there's other ones you can get, but these KYBs are pretty highly recommended. And try compressing it in comparison. Yeah, better construction, overall better materials, better valving. Yeah, way safer.
Barely.
Yep.
Can barely push that in.
So the ones that were on here were kind of in between this. This one, Spectre OE, whatever this is, do not buy these.
Garbage.
These are garbage. Horrible.
Yeah, you should not be able to do that.
That's like blown up from the factory. And it's so slow.
I don't know if you can hear that.
All the air.
But
there's air trapped in it.
It sounds like there's material in there, like sand. It's like crunchy.
Yeah.
And that does not sound good.
Yep, so got all these ball joints, tie rods. Also have some really cool Rodney Dickman parts over here.
Oh yeah, that goes up like instantly. I
oh,
put
really?
it all the way down.
Do it again. Let's see.
Oh god, that takes a lot of force. And boom.
Oh yeah, way fast. Way better. It was a rebound and
yeah,
whatever it's
and
called.
don't make that sound.
Yep. All the polyurethane stuff from Prothane. These are zero lash end links.
Those look nice.
So they fit flush with the actual sway bar.
Those look really nice.
I got these heavy duty rear inner tie rods for the rear by Rodney Dickman. These ones I don't even know if you can buy them. Like I looked for just stock ones.
Those got nice boots on them. That's not going to tear on you.
Yeah, so that's for the rear because the
and
rear
it's got
uses
greasers.
Tie rods. Yeah,
that's nice.
So these ones are heavy duty. It'll keep your toe or whatever it is in check. So that's great. I got some polyurethane. Oops. I got some polyurethane sway bar end link bushings or sway bar bushings. I got a dual damper setup, so I actually have a additional front damper. So on the front of these with the manual steering, as you can see, there's a shock on there. So this adds an additional one, so you get even more dampening with your steering. It'll make the ride feel better. New top hats, just new everything. I'm just so excited to get all this on finally. So, yeah.
Like the difference.
Look at that, yeah.
And it's way less long, too, because you're complaining about how long it was when you uninstalled it.
Yep.
And
better hardware, bigger bolt diameter.
That's way better in every way.
Yep, guys, so we're going to go ahead and put the jack under there. We're going to disconnect the ball joints, slowly lower it, and hopefully not create a missile. Alright guys, we're back. I just assembled pretty much all of the new suspension parts here. So I have the new tie rods inner and outer for the front, new tie rods inner and outer for the rear. These are the heavy duty ones from Rodney Dickman. Also the zero lash sway bar end links, the KYB gas adjust shocks. This is the coilover conversion. So this is I'm actually forgetting the name off the top of my head. I really hate that, but I'll put it right here. It converts a normal coil for the rear or strut into a coilover. So it's height adjustable. You just basically get a new top hat, and it works with the stock Fiero stuff. So most of the other aftermarket coilovers on the market, you have to convert like the top hat and stuff. So this retains the stock top hat, which is awesome. Polyurethane sway bar bushings, steering rack polyurethane bushings for the steering rack. This is a spacer, so I can add 2 dampers to the steering arm, or to the steering rack. Down here, I have new ball joints for the front. These are press-in. I also have like a cotter pin, so we really need to clean this up to figure out how to remove it. Got the new ball joints for the upper control arm, and then I have some other ball joints for the rear. We haven't touched the rear yet. Then all new Prothane polyurethane bushings. All you have to do is heat these up, knock them out with a hammer, and then press in the new ones. Awesome upgrade to stiffen up everything, make the ride quality way better. Lastly, I cleaned up the coil spring that came in here, and it definitely looks aftermarket. It's like powder coated gray. It's really nice looking. There's no markings on here to indicate what what brand it was. The only thing I see here is a tiny little thing. It says EM or EN, I'm not sure, and then front. So
yeah, also for the people who said that they look cut, they are not.
Yeah, they're not cut.
They're not cut.
They're
not cut.
Like
so they are
aftermarket something. We don't know. I'll just have to look online, see what comes in gray, I guess. But I mean, I'm really excited seeing all this. I can't wait to clean these up. I'm gonna clean them up. I'm gonna paint them new red polyurethane bushings and clean up all the hardware.
Oh, nice.
New ball joints. Like, this is gonna be an awesome ride once this is done. I'm so excited.
Yeah, plus all that work that you did was really not that hard.
Yep.
It really didn't take you very long either to get the whole side apart. It just took heat. Heat and prying.
Not even just prying. It was hammering the knuckle. So right on here, I don't want to touch this because it's gross, but the knuckle there, just heat it up and smack it with a hammer, and eventually it'll release.
Nice. That cap fits on really tight.
Yep.
That's cool.
And these are awesome because the other kits, or if you buy new control arm bushings for these, you have to press out the metal sleeve, which is really difficult, or cut them out.
Oh, wow.
So this retains the stock metal sleeve. You just put the urethane inserts in, and it's just super simple. Also very cheap. This was only like $50 or something for front and rear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, super cheap.
Pretty good.
The rears were back ordered, so that might be a bit harder to come by. But otherwise, got everything ready to replace on the Fiero over here. Really excited to start rebuilding this. So I'll show you the process of fixing up the control arms and then reassembling. And then next we'll go to the rear, disassemble the rear, be able to install the new coilover. Super excited. Also, when you get these parted out, or when you get these like spec'd out, you can tell them what the usage for the car is going to be. So I told them kind of like street and strip. So I think these are 350-pound springs. So they will, spec them to whatever you need. Really awesome. They're also very affordable. I think the kit's $350.
Nice.
And then it's height adjustable up to like 2 inches. Lets you put 17-inch wheels on the car. So I have a couple ideas on what wheels I want for the car once this is done. But I imagine I'm going to get the suspension done. I probably leave the wheels for later because it's just a added expense. Next, we'll be focusing on swapping the motor in there. So gotta buy a Holly. Then pull out the old motor. This will just bolt right up. It's going to take LS wire, harness, coils, and then the custom fuel rails I'm building. So got this right here. It'll be really cool. This is Dash 8. Be able to supply as much fuel as I need. And then, yeah, down in the description, let me know if you want me to start out NA just to get the car running, or do a little bit extra effort to get the turbocharger on there. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today. Be sure to join us as a member down below. You get early access. Also helps fund the channel so we can continue doing these projects. But really excited to finally get back into the Fiero stuff. Apologies if the Tahoe series dragged on a little bit, but we definitely needed to get that going. I thought that was pretty cool to do. So be sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. We'll see you next time.